Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back. With nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Kendall.
Welcome everybody to Uncluttered and Unfiltered. We're the podcast for women over 50. I'm Kendall. I am a broadcaster, and this is Christine Stone with me, a professional organizer. Her company is Neatly Designed. If you are someone who loves to go down the rabbit hole of organizing, I would like to highly recommend her Instagram to you.
Thank you so much.
It's so much fun. Well, I feel like anyone who is going to love this episode is going to love spending some time with you on your Instagram, Neatly Designed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is a favorite topic.
So we're going to talk about something called intentional clutter today.
Which is big right now.
Which is big. And we're going to talk about a concept that I came across and asked you to investigate for me, which is purge parties. And we're going to get to both of those. But before we even do that, I want to tell you that if you're just finding our podcast and you're like, oh, it's an organizational podcast. Yes, we cover organizational things because Christine is a professional organizer, as I've mentioned now about 5 times. But I am not organized. So anything you're learning, I'm learning along with you. And not every episode is about organizing. I would say 80% of them are not.
Right.
But this one is. So you'll learn some things, and we are excited to share them with you. So let's first explain what intentional clutter means.
Okay. Intentional clutter is a design concept that involves arranging items in a way that seems chaotic, but is actually purposeful. And that's so important to remember because it looks, like you have a lot of, tchotchkes, but it's purposeful. And it's a mindful approach to maximizing that creates a space that feels lived in and authentic.
Okay, so basically what comes to mind is a grand piano. This is just what's coming to mind.
Yeah.
And it's got a bust, and it's got framed photos with gilded gold frames all over it and lace doilies like my grandmother had on hers, and it's just covered. There's nothing but dust collecting things on there, but it looks lovely because it's family memories. But what you're saying is it's got to have some kind of a purposeful organization so that it's aesthetically pleasing and it doesn't look like clutter.
Right. And that is why I picked this topic, because it's so popular on social media right now. Everybody wants this look. But what people don't understand is, and coming from an organizer, there's a way to do it, but so many people don't get that, and then it ends up being full of clutter. So you're trying to bring warmth to a space with the things you love. So you're not hiding the china away. You're bringing the china and the crystal out, but it's how you're displaying it.
Okay, so let's talk about Nancy Myers, because her name comes up when you're talking about all of this intentional clutter. So who is Nancy Myers?
She is the set designer for all my favorite movies, which is It's Complicated.
That's the Steve Martin.
Yeah, Steve Martin and Meryl Streep.
Loved that movie. That's the one where she's FaceTiming and he's in the background. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that house, and then Father of the Bride with Steve Martin and Diane Keaton. Everybody was in love with that set.
Yes.
And that started the whole intentional clutter. And then came my favorite movie that you've never seen that I am going to make you rent in the next, I'll give you a couple weeks.
Thank you.
But something's got to give.
Who's
with
in that?
Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton,
okay,
where he's dating her daughter, who's like in her 20s, and they go out to her beach house in the Hamptons, and she doesn't know they're going to be there, and they don't know she's going to be there, and all of a sudden they're all there at the same time, and it's a over 50-something-year-old woman with her sister, who's over 50,
okay,
with Jack Nicholson, who's in his 60s, with her 20-year-old daughter.
Ew. Okay. Crazy.
It's so funny.
The house is decorated by this famous set designer.
And when that came out, and that was like, I don't know, now like what, 15 years ago? I mean, a really long time ago. Everybody wanted that look. Everyone was obsessed with that house. And I even had a friend, So when I bought my house, I wanted it to look aesthetically just like that house because we were buying a house out at the beach. So we went to someone's house in the neighborhood, and I walked in the house for a party, and I grabbed my husband's arm so hard. He's like, "What?" I go, "You're not going to believe it." And he goes, "What?" I go, "This entire house is a replica of the movie from Something's Gotta Give." I mean, Mitch, I'm telling you, it's identical. Like, this is unbelievable. And of course, he could have cared less.
Sure.
He's like, "Where's the beer?" You know what I mean? Like, he's like, okay. I walked around there and I was just like, this is unbelievable because they did such an amazing job, like down to every detail. It was phenomenal. But my point about this is you do need a decorator's help unless you are a designer, a decorator, because there is a difference between the Nancy Meyer effect and clutter.
Yes.
Because even if you follow Nancy Meyer on Instagram, you'll see her bookcase behind her is filled with tons of books and frames in front of it of family pictures. And it looks amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to say. But that's because she's Nancy Meyer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
She probably does have that designer flair when she sees things and knows exactly off the bat. You have that eye too. Maybe you have a friend who has that kind of eye. But it's what you're saying is there's an art. There
is an art to doing this. And that's why when I brought it up to you, because I like to stay on like current trends on what's happening in the organizing world. And that was just something that was blowing up social media, how people want to bring back the feeling of warmth in their home with the things they love. Okay. Yes. And that's, as an organizer, I've always said, if you love it, display it. If you don't, get rid of it. And that's part of what this is about. You're not going to just go buy a bunch of junk to get this look, because that's not really what this is about. You know, you could add a couple pieces that you've been dying to buy. That's different. But it's, or, you know, on your trips, collecting items, that's really big too. Framing photos of family, but framing them in a certain way. It's not about just every frame you get at like Target, you know, and throwing them together. It's a look. And that's why I get a little nervous when I hear intentional clutter, because I'm like, yes, if you're talented and you're a designer, a decorator, someone who has that flair for this kind of look, you'll knock it out of the park. But if you're a person who's, this isn't your forte, it can become clutter, which, you know, gets me a little crazy.
Jangled.
Yeah, a little crazy.
I hear your bracelet jangling. I'm like, that's your nerves.
Right,
that's your
right.
nerves. So the takeaway to me right now is to not go out to one of these places like Home Goods where they have shelves full of what look like people's favorite knickknacks that they've collected over the years, but when in reality they were just manufactured last week. And you know how there's that trend of people going into Home Goods and saying, yes, I'm looking for a clock that's shaped like a dolphin with an apple in its mouth. And then they pretend they found it and they say, is this what you need? So if you have that because you were recently on a trip to Bora Bora and
that's
a native gave it to you, that's different than going into Home Goods and picking the most absurd thing that you can find. Not that there aren't some really cool finds there, but what I'm saying is these knickknacks should have at least some meaning or something that brings you joy when you see them. And they're out because not just because you have an empty shelf to fill.
Well, and you're not staging your house. I mean, you're not selling. Like, there's a difference between staging a home to sell and living in a home with intentional clutter. There's a huge difference. Because when you're staging a home, you're not buying items that you love and what you're buying for scale, you're buying for colors, you're buying to fill bookcases because it looks better when you're putting a house on the market. But when you're doing this kind of look, the Nancy Meyers effect that they call it, you're really bringing a welcoming, authentic look to your house and making it a way to express yourself and show off your favorite things. That's what this is about, is bringing warmth and family and a well lived in home, not a cluttered home. I'm going to keep saying this because it really makes me a little nervous. So
it can be nerve wracking, but it's, you know, when I picture for example, a kitchen counter. You know, that's a place where the minute one thing is set down, it starts to collect clutter. So you have to be really careful. But if it's a shelf that's in another room that is only going to be empty if we don't put something on it, that's when you can start really thinking, okay, well, this is my favorite book.
Right.
And this is to balance it out. But that's where an eye, either a really good deep dive on Pinterest, or having your friend with a good eye, or a decorator. You might be surprised that you could have somebody come to your home, a professional decorator, and just say, listen, I really only want you for 1 hour.
Right.
Or 2 hours. I mean, don't diminish or devalue their time by any means. But it could be an amazing gift if you have a holiday coming up. Like, I'm trying to think when this particular episode is going to run. I feel like it might be Valentine's Day week. You know, give someone a gift card for 2 hours with a designer to come in and say, look, let me organize all of your framed photos. And we're going to go, they might suggest that you go buy a bowl of orchids or something that will sit there too and look beautiful.
I just think leaving some things to the experts if you're going for a certain look.
Yes.
So that you don't have all the clutter, because what her look is, Nancy Meyers, is a total neutral palette with layering effects of like lemons in a bowl, hydrangeas, like adding flowers everywhere, which I did. I went to Trader Joe's yesterday and I added flowers everywhere. And I can tell you, it just made me happy. It just made me happy when I was walking around my house yesterday. I put flowers in the kitchen. I put them in the guest bathroom. And it wasn't expensive. You know what I mean? And I just think really keeping your home that when you walk in, it just brings a happy feeling, a warm feeling. And that's what all of this is about, is going antique shopping and maybe picking up a couple things that really catch your eye. Like, it's about a lot of antiques and family memories and family things that you've inherited, but not keeping the ones you hate or that you're like, I'm not putting that out, and keeping it in a box in a room.
Okay. So now that we have decided that some of the things you're keeping in a box in your room and you're not going to do that anymore, we can transition it into purge parties.
Yes.
A purge party, if you Google it, don't. Because the first thing that's going to come up is a bunch of people from the movie The Purge.
Oh, I know. I saw that. It scared me to death because that was such a scary movie. I saw that.
But it is something that I saw that was trending on social media, and it is ladies getting together and having a purge party. So let's talk about it. What is it?
I love this. I mean, when you sent me this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this idea where you gather your friends. So it's not a garage sale or an estate sale. You're not selling anything. You're saying in a group text, ladies, I'm having a purge party. Come get what you want. Take what you want. I don't care what it is. I'm getting rid of this stuff. And she showed all her friends coming, leaving with like baskets and everything. I think that's a fantastic idea. I really do.
I think you could almost say if you had 5 to 10 friends, you could say for the next however many of you there are months, every month we're going to have our happy hour at a different friend's house, and it's going to be a purge party.
I love it. I love it. I think it's a great idea. I think that way you don't feel guilty because you're not trying to sell stuff. That can be stressful when people are like, should I sell it? How much is it worth? I don't want to rip people off, So I think this is a fantastic way to get people to take things that you don't want. You have nowhere to store them. You don't really even like them and they don't fit your aesthetic in your house anymore, but someone else wants them. Love this idea. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love this idea.
I mean, there are even some moments where you want to get rid of something and you know somebody wants it and it's awkward because they almost want to insist on buying it from you. And you're like, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to change money changing hands between us over this. I mean, it's going to go back around. It comes out in the wash with friends.
Exactly.
So I do love that. And I think that if you knew too the date of the party, it would really force your hand to start the purging because you want to have something to show off. So you want to go through every closet. You want to go through someone. You might have luggage that somebody has been wanting. You just don't know what you've got. So I think it's fantastic. And it's always a great opportunity to have a party. And you can go get go get some flowers and some cheese and some wine.
And just really I think it's a great idea having all your girlfriends over, and not only are you enjoying your time with your girlfriends, but you're getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
Match made in heaven.
Win.
Win-win.
Every single box.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to ask you one more thing.
Yes.
Do you have anything else in your notes, by the way? Because, Christine is very prepared.
I love, this topic I absolutely love, because when you see intentional and clutter put together, you had me at hello. I mean,
yes.
So I just think that this is a great idea. It really looks great, but you just have to be careful on what you're adding and not subtracting.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
All right. We would love for you to be a part of our community, and you can do that by joining our Ladies Only Uncluttered and Unfiltered page on Facebook. We have the regular page, and then we have this as a private group. Lots of interaction on there. And stay tuned, because we're also going to be letting you know exactly, our videos are going to be moving. So we're going to let you know where you can find our videos. But in the meantime, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And could you do us a favor and tell one friend, just one girlfriend, one aunt, one cousin, somebody who you think would benefit from a podcast for women over 50. You
got to have one.
You got to have one friend that you want to share us with.
Yes.
It would mean the world to us, and it tells us everything we need to know. That we're saying and doing things that are reaching you. And we're always open for your suggestions as well. Okay, so this has been such a super quick episode that I find that I have time to throw in this one more thing, because it's so ridiculous. Have we talked at all about this trend, fridge-scaping? Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, so fridge-scaping is when you clean out your refrigerator, and when you put everything back, you do it aesthetically, and you even add some photos.
Silly.
Some flowers.
Silly. Silly. I think people have way too much time on their hands if they're doing stuff like that. Honestly. I mean, I clean my refrigerator out every single Sunday because my garbage day is Monday. So I do that every week, but I can't imagine putting a frame picture of my kids, a plant. I think people can take it too far. Yes, you heard me say that. I think you can take anything too far. I just think that you have to be real, especially is your refrigerator huge? I wouldn't even have room for that.
Oh, I mean, the way it's so empty these days, because we are empty nesters, I would have some room, but not when anyone's visiting. No,
I mean, can you imagine someone opening the refrigerator and you have an orchid in there?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. They'd be like, oh, okay.
That'd be so funny.
Is this edible? What is it?
Yeah.
So here's what I think the big takeaways from this episode are, because we like to leave you with some things. First of all, have a purge party with your friends.
Yes.
That's a great way to get rid of some things.
Yes.
Let us know if you're local. Maybe we'll come. Although Christine won't allow me to buy anything else, or not even buy, but receive more. The other thing is, of course, be very intentional. If you are putting out the tchotchkes or the memories or the antiques, just, know that there's an aesthetic to it, and maybe do some research or get some professional help. And 3, an intentional little snippet. Clean out your fridge the day before garbage day. Always. That's the day you clean your fridge out.
Yes, that's what I do. But more importantly, what I learned from this episode is that you never saw Something's Gotta Give.
Oh, that's true.
With Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton. I'm in shock still. I'll get over it, but you have to watch it and report back on the podcast on your thoughts.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do it alone. I think all of us need to watch it if it's that good.
I've seen it 10 times. I could watch it again this weekend.
Okay. I will definitely watch it.
And ladies over 50 will love it, because it's all about aging and how the 60-something-year-old guy picks the 20-something-year-old. But in the end, should I give it away?
I don't think you even have to. I think if it's a rom-com, we know.
Well, in the end, he ends up going for the mother.
Of course.
Because they have so much in common, and he ends up having a heart attack. And of course, they need caretaking. So that's the end of that story.
Okay, do I need to watch it now? You literally
of course,
just
it's funny.
You just gave away the ending.
But it's funny. And they fall in love.
Okay. Well, now we know how it's going to end, but I think I still would watch it.
You still have to watch it. You have to watch it.
I want to watch it for the set. Honestly.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You have to watch it for the set, for the house. Look at every little detail in the living room, in the kitchen. It is, I know people that have paused it per slide to take screenshots to show to decorators things that they want. That's how popular it was. So.
Okay, then for that reason, and the reason that I can pretend I know the ending when I watch with my husband. I'll be like, I bet I know what's going to happen. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. And remember, if you have a lot of clutter to get rid of, you don't have to have a purge party to let it go.
And don't look back.